so no front. Kandi and Garrett, yeah, we say what you want. Real life, real stories, yeah, we keep it real. If you're looking for the truth, this is how it feel. Conversations that matter, yeah, we bringing it out. From the highs to the lows, yeah, we talking it out. No fluff.
Hey guys, make sure if you like watching Real Talk with Kandi and Garrett, that you hit that button right below to subscribe. If you're on Spotify or another platform, follow, like. It's super important to do that. We love that you watch, but for the algorithm, it's really important that you also subscribe. All it's going to do is tell you when we have a new episode available, but it's going to create it out there to where other people start seeing it on their platform so they can tune into Real Talk with Garrett and Kandi too. So like, follow, subscribe. Welcome back to Real Talk with Kandi Thompson.
And Garrett Gray.
So, I noticed something last week. So you guys are always going to notice the difference when Adam's here and when he's not. So last week I set the camera up and I set it up and I thought I had us perfect. And then
top of our heads were cut off.
Top of our heads were cut off.
And then when we had that, you're right. Because I was watching the video and then I reset it and it looked a little bit better.
No, you know what happened is something happened that we had to stop it at 9 minutes in. And then you went back. Yes, you went back in and I was like, thank God our heads would have been cut off
the
through
whole
the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole time.
So you guys, we didn't mean to come with you with the top of our heads cut off, but listen, the content was the same.
We wanted to be in it. We wanted to be in the camera.
Crazy. I don't know what my visual was. I was going off of your head, but I must sit taller than you because
I kind of slouch a little bit. And,
mine was cut off.
I get cozy in the couch. I don't really have that posture.
I'm thankful you can see all of us today. We're here in full for you.
That we know of.
Right,
we see the video.
Here. Adam's here.
Oh yeah, we know it's gonna be fine.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's right. We have often thought that it would be fun to have a camera facing Adam
and
also.
Put him in the corner.
Yeah.
Or so just when he makes his expressions like other podcasts, they bleep off to the media guy and he's just
because if you guys could see what Adam tells us and guides us through this whole time, first of all, he's our voice of reason and he's the only science person in the room.
I call him my hype man because he's always laughing when I make jokes and it's the only person because I'll be sitting here all right, Adam, laugh, we're good.
Yeah. There's times where I'm like, I'm going to kill these two. In the middle of a podcast, Garrett will be talking to Adam and we'll have a very important guest and they're having a friggin' conversation. I'm killing him in the middle of the podcast. So Adam, unfortunately, hears that. You have got to stop talking to Garrett in the middle of an interview with someone. And it's not even about this. It's not even about the podcast. You'll be carrying on your own conversation.
Oh, gosh.
So we're going to clip to a couple of those here.
Well, I do have squirrel brain. Speaking of squirrel brain.
Nobody knew that.
Oh, man, I tell you what. Having kids through summer, you can find out that it's very hard to have a bored kid now. It's just
they don't know how to be bored.
They don't know how to be bored. And once they're bored, they'll let you know it. And it's it's on me now to figure out their boredism.
Isn't that so crazy?
And I'm we have, and stay here, my house, I call it the fun house because it's we literally have every inch of the house filled with toys or something to do or something to climb, to jump off of, to run through. We have a good backyard. You could literally do whatever you want there. Ride bikes, go do paints.
It
doesn't matter. Bubbles galore. Okay. But somehow they
I really want to come over.
They get bored and I don't know what it is.
No, it is so crazy. I feel like today's generation has to be entertained.
At every point of the time.
Right. Because what you just described are stuff that they can entertain themselves.
Right.
But it's almost like they have to be entertained. And so you and I were raised completely different, right? You grew up with kind of having probably a lot more entertainment than I had.
Yeah.
So this is no exaggeration. I'm going to give a shout out to all. I'm a very end of Gen Z, but if you're 40 and above, pretty much this is you right now.
Yeah.
We would summer, you wake up in the morning. You watch cartoons. Mm-hmm. You've got to get up very, very early on Saturday because you only have a certain period of time to watch cartoons.
Was Warner Brothers still a thing back then?
Yes, we loved Warner Brothers, but you had to be on two different channels.
Oh.
So you'd get up in the morning, you'd watch cartoons. It was thrilling. And mind you, that was the only time you got to watch cartoons.
Right.
They didn't have a cartoon channel.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So you'd watch
Unless you want to watch The Price is Right. That was about all that was
I loved The Price is Right. I loved The Price is Right. And no, here's the difference too, though, is and we talked about this before, but you you couldn't talk during shows
Right.
because you couldn't rewatch them, right?
Right.
So anyway, watch cartoons, get up, eat cereal, because
Mhm.
we always
Mhm.
had to have cereal.
Yep.
And then this is how it would go. Okay, get dressed and go play.
Yeah.
Huh?
Go outside.
Go outside. So they weren't kidding. They didn't mean go outside and play in the front yard where I can visually observe you from the window and then
Right.
come in every 10 minutes and make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
No, they meant get out and don't come back.
Mhm.
Either your friend was going to be, her parents were going to be making lunch, or your mom was going to be making lunch,
Mhm.
and then you didn't get back
Do you ever
until
think
dark.
that was pre-planned? Like the moms called each other and be like, "Hey, are you making lunch
Mm-mm.
tomorrow?" Okay, no, oh, the kids are gonna end up at my house tomorrow. Okay,
No, we didn't live in
hot
one
dogs
of those
and
neighborhoods.
macaroni.
So when I was very, very young, we, like, before I started school, we lived in Washington State
Mhm.
because I was born and raised here. But then for a period of time, we moved to
Right.
Washington State. And so that's where, so not only did you have to go out and play, you had to go out and play and there was no sun.
Hmm.
So you had to go out and play. I hate
was
gloomy
rainy.
weather. Oh, it was horrible. They wouldn't make you go out if it was raining, but you had to figure out how to entertain yourself in the house.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, oh my gosh, it's a wonder we didn't eat all the mushrooms that were growing in the ground. I mean, or all the berries off the trees. Like, you had no direction. You just were
Right.
told to go out and play. So we would go out and play. You'd come back for lunch. You'd go out again, and your cue to come home was,
Streetlights.
yep, it's getting dusk. You knew
Mhm.
you need to come back at dark.
Yeah.
And then we've talked about this before, but just for this episode, this is the funniest thing in the whole world because I didn't realize this until a couple of years ago when the news would say, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?
Mhm.
That was no joke. Like, I didn't think it. I remember hearing it, because I was at home already, because I would have been dead if I was home after 10. But I thought, what a funny thing to say. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?
Yeah.
But they meant that.
No, really.
That was serious, like
Yeah.
a little warning to your families, like, hey, look
And
around.
now
Have you
we
lost
have,
your kids?
and now we have Apple AirTags and Live 360
Mhm.
and kid phone jitterbugs
Oh
and
my gosh.
all this stuff to be able to stay connected with
Yeah.
them. Which I get it because there's always something that happened prior to make it the way it is now.
Yeah.
And I think that we talked about this all before, but
Yeah.
the whole moral, the sense of the kids being occupied, I think,
Mhm.
and then finding out how to cure their own sense of boredom
Yeah.
is what's hard right now because the parents also want to be
True.
involved too. I think a little
Yeah.
bit more
Yeah.
than go play, right? They're calling, like, my kids, they're calling them more of, like, we were the generation of the bedroom playtime, right? Like, it was you play in your bedroom, you do your own thing.
Okay.
Now it's called the living room kids. So all
That's
the
funny.
kids now, the newer my kids and young or
Yeah,
that
yeah,
age
yeah, yeah.
are all playing in the living room. They don't
That's-
play in the bedrooms because again, bedrooms for sleep, right? So they don't want to.
Yeah,
we don't want
yeah,
to have them
right,
playing in
right.
there, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden they go to bed and they're
Mhm.
up till whatever time because that's where their play place
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So they understood making it the living room.
For real.
But I don't have a living room anymore. It's just the big
Yeah.
play place, right?
We had a separate playroom for the girls. So when my girls were little, we had two living rooms. One of them was their playroom, and then one of them was the living room. But it was the same thing
Right.
when my kids were little. Like, the bedroom should not be where they go
Right.
to play
Right.
because it's for sleeping.
Well, and now you're also involved as a parent to play with them and do stuff, which totally get it. But during the week, when people got to work, especially with the time that we live in now, where
Yeah.
everybody's got to be working,
Yeah.
like, how can these kids be able to find a way to go and adventure a little bit more? Is that on the is it on the parent? Like, are we doing something wrong as the parents to not
You know what?
push that
think-
agenda, or are we being too like, are we too helicoptery or like
Mhm,
armchairy to
helicopter.
be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
hey, you can't go anywhere until
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see you, and you know.
Well, I think that it's kind of also dependent on where you live. Like, you have a backyard, so be able to say, go out and play in the backyard. I mean,
Yeah.
they used to call our backyard when my girls were little Candyland because it was like that. I had an addiction to Little Tykes play structures.
Okay.
And then we had the big, huge play structure from
Mhm.
Costco. And I mean, it was super fun.
Yeah.
We'd do a lot of play groups at our house. It was super fun. So like and so my kids could go out and play. But like when I was little and you would go out and play, the things that you would think up to play were like, I mean, we had like a tree fort under this great big huge tree, and that's where all the mushrooms were, and you'd have like your little guys, and oh my gosh, we'd play school. School was one of my favorite things to play with all your stuffed animals. I was a really good teacher. And you would,
I think your type of fun and my type of fun.
oh my gosh, it
Two
was
different
so
things.
much fun. I loved playing school. I loved playing. I was a good. Oh, and then it was just really like there was, you'd go explore. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you literally,
Right.
so this is horrible. And I'm letting you know that we are so lucky that my whole generation and possibly a little bit below was not abducted, because
No,
like,
they were. You just weren't.
no, I wasn't on the back of it. But you know, the only way you knew they were abducted is if you drank milk and they were on the back of a milk carton.
Yeah.
You didn't get the
A
notifications
notification
on your phone or online.
Which
Yeah.
nowadays they're just sending out random ones and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oops, press the wrong button.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Well, so I remember one time we had a neighbor down the street, and we only knew one neighbor across the street from us, but down the street there was a neighbor. And my sister and I, we were little. We were probably like 4 and 5 or
Mhm.
5 and 6. I mean, that's the age they said go play for the whole
4
day.
and 5 and 6. Yeah.
All day. Go
Yeah.
out. You're 5. Go
Figure it
play for
out.
the
Yeah.
whole day outside, and we'll see
You
you
know,
at dinner.
Did,
So
I'll let you finish.
what I'm saying is too, like, kids can actually accomplish a lot more at those ages than
Yeah.
parents give them credit
Oh,
for now.
yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, they're just 5. So I
agree.
remember this man we'd never met before. We were in his house. He had us in his basement showing us something.
Mhm.
It wasn't, he didn't show us anything inappropriate, but I remember thinking in that moment, like, we're probably in a bad situation right
Yeah,
here. Like,
yeah.
we're like 5. We're probably
We-
not in a good situation right here.
We-
And my mom would have never been able to find us. He could
Yeah.
have stored us in that basement for the rest of our lives. My
Right.
mom would have never
He
found
probably
us.
thought about it. He
I
probably
think
was
he
like,
did.
I
think he was grooming us.
Oh man, I think it's just too
Grooming
many.
us. Yeah.
I did the same thing as a kid. I mean, we would go to my friend's house and we'd ride bikes through the whole Running Gold area. And there was a couple teachers on the block, and there was
Yeah.
also a music person down there. So we'd always ride over to that music person's place, go in their house, and play their instruments. Like literally, we were playing their didgeridoos and the drums and the guitar.
Yes. And
like,
mom and dad have no idea where you are.
Zero clue.
Yeah.
The furthest back in Running Gold you could possibly go.
No, literally.
On bikes. And so then we come back and then have fun, and we end up at other people's pool. Like we'd knock on people's door and be like, "We say you have a pool. Can we play in your pool?" They're like, "Yeah, come on, play in the." Like, it was fine.
No, we did too.
Yeah.
There was a neighbor.
The
that
only
had
way
a
my
pool.
parents could find us, or the parents, was when they drove around. The bikes were in front. All the bikes were in front of the houses that we were always at. So they're like, "Oh, they're here."
Yep, not us.
Yeah.
We walked, and it was always my sister and I, and we walked. And there was, okay, so this is kind of, so you know how there's ice cream trucks now. This was when we lived in Bremerton, Washington. It's a
Mhm.
big Navy, area because the Navy Yard's right there. And so we were literally in like block after block after block. Like that's how we lived. And we were a couple blocks away from the school. And you'd hear the song, the music, like an ice cream truck.
Mhm.
You'd get so excited. They had the donut van. They had a van it was a brown van, and it was literally the kidnapper van, but it was filled with donuts, and all the kids would come running. I'm giddy thinking about it. It was the donut van, and you'd get your money.
We should bring that back.
I'm serious. And you'd
Talk to
open
Star
it up,
Donuts.
and they had like different layers, and you got your donut. It was a donut van.
That would be perfect if they did that through the areas like Jackson, Iowa, whatever. It was a donut coffee van.
Yes.
Like at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Doot, 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 doot,
And you go get your coffee
doot.
instead of having to drive somewhere to get coffee. Hold on a second.
I'm serious. The parents are out there with their cups.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like every Saturday, Sunday morning about
You're Venmoing
7, 8
your
o'clock,
cup.
you get a cup of coffee and you get a donut, and it's gonna drive block to block. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it is. So you're welcome.
We
Amador
partner
County.
with Shauna Sweets and the Star
Yeah,
Donuts.
yeah.
We'll come by, pick them up,
Yeah.
and then just start taking them out.
Isn't that funny?
If you want a specific location,
It was just the
go ahead and
weekends.
put your what is it, your neighborhood address
Drop
down.
your pin.
And this might be something in the near future here.
Yeah. So I mean, it was totally acceptable, right?
Yeah.
And it was really interesting. And then there was also these like programs that would come to neighborhoods, and literally you had no other way of gathering kids other than just going through the neighborhoods. But it was like this program, I don't know if it was Christian or what, but they would do this, they would gather kids. and
Nowadays.
it was a summer program, and they would
Nowadays.
do like all of these really
Yeah.
awesome things every weekend. And actually, I think it would be like multiple times a week, but they were like a kids program that you'd end up going to.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of cool. But like
Right.
you had no way of getting in touch with these people besides driving through and telling the kids in the neighborhood about it. And then we would all gather and go do these really
Mhm.
fun things. So we do like scavenger hunts and stuff.
Well, this also brings me back to a point to where like kids nowadays, because when I was younger, I learned how to talk on the phone at an early age, because it was
Yeah.
like when you call your friend, well, especially where I lived
Mhm.
in Pine Grove, it wasn't like we were walking next door and knocking on the door, because next door was 2 acres down, 4 blocks over, and a mountain you had to climb to get the
Right,
neighbor's
right,
house,
right.
right? But like down here in Jackson, Iona, wherever, you call your friends, like, hey, and you knew numbers off the top of your brain. I was gotta
Yep,
be like
yep,
6,
yep.
7 years old, and we're calling, hey, what are you guys doing tomorrow? Okay, you wanna hang out? Okay, we riding bikes. Okay, then we got on the bikes and we get together.
Mhm, mhm.
Or like how to call, and if you get the mom or dad on the phone, hi, this is so and so, good evening, is Jimmy home or whatever,
Mhm.
or knocking on the door and having a young kid talk to a parent and be like, hi, my name is Garrett, I'm here, is
Mhm.
what's his face here,
Mhm.
or is being like
Teaching
that
them how to talk to people.
yeah, exactly, because I
Mhm.
don't think that's happening anymore,
Mhm.
right? Like, how do you introduce that?
So when my girls were little, I read a really awesome book series, which I swear by it for those of you that have little kids. It starts with on becoming baby wise is what it's called, and it starts with like conception to 5 months old. Then there's baby wise 2, which is 5 to 15 months. Then it's like pre toddler or toddler wise, child wise, preteen wise. I mean, it literally is a series that takes you all the way till they're 18.
Mm-hmm.
And the point of it, when you start reading it, it's a Christian couple who have triplets. And
Yeah.
the idea is that by the time your kids are teenagers, you know the stereotypical like, oh my gosh, just get through their teenage years so we can survive. But the whole goal is to have your kids as teenagers be a pleasure to be around,
Yeah.
and that like they know what's expected of them, they know right from like they
Yeah.
know
I
that
call it
what
playing the
they're,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so we did that series, Adam, and I mean it was a shot in the dark. You're like, let's hope this works. And by
Right.
the time my kids were 18, they through their all their teenage years, they were a pleasure to be around.
Good.
They were not the stereotypical
Right.
nightmare teenagers. And so that I tell you that because through that, one of
Mm-hmm.
the things that they taught us was like when you are introducing your kids to people.
Yeah.
Nowadays people don't even introduce their kids anymore because their
Right.
kids are on their phone the whole time,
Right.
right? So I was always in
Or they probably
business.
do, but the kids are always like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So my thing was from the time I think my girls were probably 5, and I said to them, when I introduce you to someone, I need you to look them in the eyes and shake their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you.
Yep.
Like I need you to do that, look them in, and then but then it teaches you how to progress through
Yeah.
that. So then like as they get a little bit older, they'll look you in the eyes and say, "Oh, my mom said that you were in blah blah blah," right?
Yeah.
Like they then could start to have a little conversation. And I'm not exaggerating. I cannot tell you how many times adults told me that is the first time I've ever had a kid shake my hand and look me in the eye. All they do is on their phones.
Yeah.
And it is, but I think it also was really good for my kids
Yeah.
to be able to be introduced to people
Right.
and
Right.
to know how
Well,
to
you're also being out
encounter
and
that.
about and doing stuff, right? As a
Yeah,
business owner that you're going through.
right.
That mean kids had to come with you, so they also see how
Yeah.
you were portraying yourself when you were doing
Mhm.
it. So monkey see, monkey do, right?
Yeah.
So that also probably helped as well.
It helped, but it also helped, I think, give them a business mindset.
Yeah.
Now here I have girls that are going into the business world, and I feel
Yeah.
like they were prepared for that,
Yeah.
But also another thing was
It's like
talking
you're
on the
ending the
phone.
kid thing, and I'm really starting
I
the kid.
know, I
I really
know.
do see this at different spectrums, because it's
Yeah.
like you raised your kids in that really weird time that we had, and then you can see that there is progression and there's ways to be, I would say successful, right, through their hard time of high school, of being mid-COVID and not being able to have
Yeah.
some experiences. Now I have kids that are even on the younger end,
Yeah, yeah,
gonna have to
yeah.
go through the changes that
Mhm.
happened from that whole
Mhm.
deal, and now we're just kind of,
And it
see
it
that
is
kind of
interesting.
correlation.
I know, I like that. I like that you're like your
I'm like
littles are
just
coming
starting,
up.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
yours are starting the
It
adult
is
life
super
now, right?
crazy. Well, and another thing that I remember was when I think my girls were in 7th grade, 6th or 7th grade. And Emily had an assignment. I was no joke when it came to homework in school. It's not going to surprise you with the
You like
kids.
school.
Yeah.
Makes
No,
sense. You were the
no.
best teacher.
No, I was. And my stuffed animals were so smart, Garrett. They really knew a lot. So and they were very well behaved. But
Yeah.
when I would get like, so from my kids,
See, now she had the roller. She was slapping.
Mhm, mhm.
You sit up
Yeah,
straight.
yeah. I'm like, that bear always misbehaved. Yeah, it was the one. It was always the same one. So when my girls were, and so Emily was in 7th grade, and I really had, it's not like when I was little, the phone would ring and you'd run to answer the phone.
Yeah.
Like you talked on the phone to
Yeah.
people.
And the kids were like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I was the biggest thing in the house. I'll get it.
Yeah,
I'll get it. I'll get it.
yeah.
I'll get it.
But like you didn't know who was calling.
No, zero.
Until I think that caller ID came out when I was pregnant with my girls, and that was 23 years ago. So caller ID's only been around for about that long. Before that, you didn't know who was calling, so you'd answer the phone.
And you had to answer the correct way.
Yeah.
Hi, this is the Gray's residence, or hi, this is there was a way you had to answer the phone, not just hello.
Right.
Right.
Well, and I would say hello, but I was raised because my stepdad growing up was a teacher. And so he taught us the proper way on how to, may I ask who's calling, may I tell her what this is regarding? Right. I had to do that from a young age.
Yeah. Oh, my dad was mad because he was I don't know who that is.
Well, either way.
But see now the difference, right? That was like perfect. Okay, so see, I see the number, man, I'm not answering that.
Yeah.
But before it was, when my dad was running his cabinet business, they would call. We had two lines, the business line, then we had our line. But at an evening, it would transfer all to our line.
Yeah.
So when you picked up the phone, it was like 4:00 and on. And we would always think it was family, but we answer, hi, it's Gray's residence. This is Garrett speaking. And then they'll be like, oh, I'm looking for Gray's cabinets. And then if I was to do this, here, Dad, they're looking for Gray's cabinets, and didn't give him a name, he would lose it. Because he's like, I'm not answering that unless it's a client I'm having right now.
Right,
so
right,
before
right.
you hand me and tell them I'm here,
Yeah.
because I'm trying to relax, I've had a 20-hour day, right? You need to see who that is. So now it was, this is Garrett. May I ask who's speaking?
Yeah.
And then they would say their name, and then I look at my dad and kind of mouth the name. He'd be like,
That's
yes,
hilarious.
depending. But before then, if I didn't know who it was or whatever, or write the name down, he would lose his mind.
Well, and what's funny is like when that first started happening, when caller ID became a thing and it was so exciting, and then call waiting, that was always funny. So you'd be on the phone and go beep beep, and you're like, hold on one second. You'd like, hold on a second. You'd click over, like that was acceptable at that time to like click over on someone, and so. But it didn't show names.
Right.
It just showed their phone number. So because you'd been dialing these phone numbers, you knew exactly who was calling. Yeah.
The last four were always big one. Yeah.
Right. So Emily, it's 7th grade. We didn't have a home phone. So it's not like she, no, we did. We did have a home phone. We had a home phone probably up until.
Well, at that time,
probably until
you had to, because with internet, it was
school.
Like get the better bundle or whatever.
Well,
right?
even, internet came out like right when I graduated high school, but like you still had a home phone, and cell phones would be like, cell phone was not your primary phone at that time. Like people would still
kids
call
were in school
when they were little, when they were in elementary. I was 19 when I had my first cell phone, and my girls were born when I was 25. So that was 6 years later. So cell phones were still a thing, but they weren't the thing. Like nobody, not everybody knew that phone number. It was kind of, I feel like at that time, it was like more for you than it was for other people, because you could call people, you had access to be, or your family could communicate with you, but it wasn't like the entire world. And whenever you stopped using that phone, or if you changed, you got a new phone number. Like now you can keep your number. That didn't used to be the thing. So back to Em being in 7th grade, she was 6th or 7th grade. So homework, she had going into the weekend, I would actually get a report sent, which moms and dads, you can get it too. Teachers will send it to you. I would get a report sent to me on Fridays, letting me know what their grades were and if they had any missing assignments in any of their classes. If they had any missing assignments going into Friday, they could do nothing for the whole weekend. So you better have all your assignments turned in.
Be bored real quick.
Right. So so Emily had an assignment that was missing, and she said, Mom, I turned it in. And I said, well, then you're going to have to call your teacher. It's already after school, but like probably still time where he's in the classroom. You're going to have to call your teacher and find out if that assignment is there. She's like, no, I turned that in. So she's scared to death. And all of a sudden it dawns on me, my kids have never called anybody. They've never talked on the phone, and she's in 6th or 7th grade. That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's like 10 to 12 years old, and she's never talked on the phone to someone.
Right.
So I actually had to role play it. I was at work. She was at home. I'm having to role play it with her. Like, okay, so I say to her, okay, I'm going to call with you, so to make sure she called. So I'm going to call on 3-way, but I'm muting out. So I'm not saying a word. So no, Mom, you have to do the talking. Nope, I'm not doing the talking. So I will call, but so we call. I mute out. Hello? She's silent. Hi. This is Emily. And so she does it, right? So she gets through it. he says, let me check and see. He looks through I mean, he was so nice. He was so kind. Like, thank you for calling. Let me check and see and see what I've got. And so he's looking and he's like, you know, he says something about like whatever he does, he doesn't answer the question. So he like he was very kind, he was very helpful, but he doesn't answer the question. And she hangs up. Thank you. Okay, bye. And I'm like, so what was the answer?
Yeah.
I don't know. You got to call back. I am not calling back. I would rather die before I call back. I'm like, you have to call back or you don't get to do anything for the whole weekend. And you've
Right.
already done the work. Like,
Right.
you've got to call back. I am not calling. Okay, we're calling it ringing. It's ringing. Mom, I am not calling back. Okay, I'm not talking again. It's ringing. Hello? Hi. It's Emily again. Like, so it was really crazy to me.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I realized my kids did not know how to talk on the phone.
Mhm.
So from that point forward, every time we called and ordered anything from a restaurant, we made them do it. Even like, I mean, kind of any time we had the ability to give them the option of talk, like doing something on the phone, we did it because I could not believe that much time had passed by
Yeah.
and my kids didn't know how to talk on the phone.
Right.
And I think it's so much worse today.
Oh,
I mean,
way worse. I mean,
that
there's no even reason to call anymore.
right.
Everything can be done by a different mode.
Text.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And so it's
Not even
interesting.
text now. The kids don't even use texting anymore.
Didn't I know that?
No, there's other apps they start using, and it's like Snapchat and sending pictures
that
and little word
crazy?
blurbs. Like finding out where somebody is and what they're doing is all off of like
Yeah,
Snapchat.
yeah.
And I'm sure there's another app now because when I was recruiting in Paso Robles, 2019, 2020, right? Trying to get a hold of kids, they had their numbers, and you're texting them and you're calling them. No
Mhm.
answers, no answers, no answers,
Mhm.
no answers. And I finally talked to one of the kids that came in, and I was like, "Hey, why didn't you answer my text message like, multiple months ago when you were really interested in getting in the
Yeah.
military?" He's like, "Oh, I don't have texting on my phone." "What do you mean you don't have texting on your phone? That's how everybody communicates." He's like, "Oh, no. We use Snapchat and all the other sites and stuff like
No
that." So they don't
way.
even have, it's like they have a phone that they don't even use half of the stuff on it unless their parents are calling them. Then
Yeah.
it like overrides everything. I'm not too sure, but I'm just saying
Right.
that's a whole nother mode of
That's crazy.
communication
Well, and
that's
I know
not
for
happening.
my girls, that's true. But they do. My girls still text. They have, I mean, texting, and I think but like even for the littles now. So like, and this is one thing that I really want to mention is that like iPads, kids have become iPad kids.
Yeah.
So they're bored, throw them in front of an iPad. You don't want a parent, throw them in front of an iPad. You don't know what to do, you have something you have to get done, throw them in front of an iPad. I wouldn't do it. iPads were a thing when my girls were little, but I would not do it. I refused to. I don't watch TV. I mean, I have shows that we watch, but like I would never, if I was home by myself, the TV would never come on.
Yeah.
So I had one show though, and this is one that I want to share with all of you. And I know we've talked about some of these things sporadically in between before, but Signing Time was such an awesome show. And at that time, there was it had just come out. It's called Signing Time with Alex and Leah. Now it's just called Signing Time. This woman, Rachel, had an amazing voice. She was an amazing singer, and she got pregnant with her daughter, and her sister got pregnant at the exact same time. And Rachel's daughter was born deaf. And she was devastated because here she has this amazing voice. She wanted to share it with her daughter. Her daughter's born deaf. Well, her sister had a son. So her sister's name is Emily. She had a son, Alex. And so they figured out how to teach them sign language from a very young age so that those two could communicate all the way growing up. And because they learned it and caught on so fast, they created this whole program called Signing Time. Well, because Rachel has a beautiful voice, she turned it into kind of like a little musical entertainment kids program. And so at that time, they were on DVDs. Now you can get them on YouTube. There's tons of Signing Times.
Really?
But it's amazing. And my girls, because of Signing Time, my girls actually knew. So that was a show we'd watch every day. It was like probably 45 minutes. It's really good for phonetics. Like it actually shows the word up there while it's saying it. And then there's even songs that you can play in like whatever songs they play, which teach you the signs, you can play them in the car too. So as you're driving, but my girls knew from the time they started talking. I mean, we started teaching them sign language at 5 months. By the time they were 8 months, they were signing. They couldn't talk, but they were signing what they wanted. That was kind of the whole point of it. That was the whole reason we learned about sign language. And I learned it from that On Becoming Baby Wise series. At the end of the second book, it teaches you like 15 or 20 signs to teach your kids because they know what they want to say, they just can't say it.
Say it, yeah.
So you're saying, you know, they're eating and you're like, are you all done or do you want more? No, I want more. Okay, but you couldn't understand what they were saying. Do you want water? Or I think it's water, or do you want milk? Right? So they would know. It was so crazy. And by the time my girls were 13 months old, they were signing in complete sentences.
Wow.
It was crazy. They're on other videos. There was videos that they were like signing time and baby wise videos. Anyway, signing time, that video was really awesome.
Yeah.
And so that's something I highly recommend. If you have littles,
Yeah,
it's
so
really
instead
good
of
for
brain
them.
rot TV of just whatever, you can actually put something that can help them if they have to be in front of or use the TV at some point.
I'd say for the first 2 years of my girls' lives, there was not a word that they spoke without a sign going with it. So it was kind of fun. And I didn't know it either. So I kind of learned it with them. But
well, that would help. Yeah. You teach your baby sign language. And you're like, I have no idea what you're saying now. What do you want? What is this? What is this?
Yeah. So you do actually have to watch it with them. Go figure.
Yeah.
But it was really awesome. I mean, when my girls were 13 months old.
The only reason I know what this is and all that was Meet the Fockers.
Oh, that's
because he does it.
That's
He's
yeah.
And milk and
it's
more.
Hysterical. It's funny. By the time my girls were 13 months old, we were outside. We had one of those swings that they could face each other, and so they were outside. We're swinging them back and forth. And Emily said she was signing that she wanted more, and I said, but not having like great words yet. You want more what? She said she wants more to eat. She's hungry. And I said, you're hungry? Oh, what are you hungry for? She said, a banana. And I would go, Adam, I just had a conversation with Emily. It was so crazy. I'm serious. It was like so cool though. How cool is that? You know?
Yeah.
So anyway, it does give them, and it actually created a lot less frustration when it comes to your kids being young, because they know what they want to say. They just don't know how to say it.
Right.
So anyway, signing time is a really great video if you are going to put your kids in front of videos. It's kind of like the baby Einstein idea, but it actually is teaching them. So I highly recommend that. But yeah, kids being bored today, it is, there's,
yeah, I mean, they're just going to have to figure it out.
I know. Okay, so one game that I think is really awesome for you to have your kids, it's called Widgets.
Widgets?
Yep, they're from very young. They go up until like high school, but they're figures that they have flashcards, and they have to take these figures and put them together to make that flashcard. And they're all different sizes and all different,
like the shapes
really
stuff.
cool. They're called widgets. Yeah, so I always tried to do like brain stuff. Of course, puzzles are also really awesome.
Yeah,
we're
working on right now. Me and my kids are working on a 500-piece Spider-Man
I love
puzzle.
that. I love that.
Me and Maddie do. We did the what was it? The Disneyland. Really big ones, but the kids always want to help, so they'll come in. And me and my wife will do a lot more than the kids, but because they have their own little 10 puzzle. But
I love that.
We're able to sit there and turn on TV off and try to just what color is this? Where does this go? Okay, and kind of just help them out. But it takes longer, so when we get together, it was like a family thing.
I love that. No, puzzles are so smart. Yeah. Widgets. Of course, I also liked the little baby Einstein things. They have like little magnets that you can put on the refrigerator that you like put the front of the cow and the back of the cow, and then it'll tell you what, or like letters, and it'll tell you what they are.
Yeah.
Those were always
we're
really
also
good
a big
too.
Lego family too.
Yeah, Legos are so awesome. Yes,
that's a good one too.
Yeah, so I think it's probably good to try to get your, have things like that. But it's true. It's like you kind of have to do it with them, but eventually they start doing it on their
and if
own.
your kids get bored, you guys got to tune in Sundays for Getting to Know Amador County, where we can help you guys give definitely either hiking areas, get out areas, or the next one coming up soon. You'll see. You're gonna have to check it out on Sunday. So if your
Amador
kids are bored,
County Fair.
Oh, and then Amador County Fair is coming up. Oh my gosh, yeah.
So you guys stay tuned for, you guys, as of today, right now that you're viewing this, is the Amador County Fair.
Right.
So make sure that you're going to the Amador County Fair if you're in Amador County. Yeah.
Hydrate.
We live in a small little community where county fairs are a big deal. So if you're a part of Amador County or you have a close proximity, make sure you head out there. Yeah. Of course, it's going to be record-breaking heat. It is going to be the hottest weather that it's been in 2 years.
That's like
during the
hoping
fair.
It rains on Dandelion Days.
Isn't that
You know what I'm
crazy?
saying?
Last year was so nice. It
Yeah.
was like in the 80s.
Yeah.
No, not this year. So anyway, hydrate and get yourselves out there. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you're not bored. Have a great week.
Real talk, no
The views and opinions expressed on Real Talk with Kandi and Garrett are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Real Talk with Kandi and Garrett, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Divine Properties, their affiliates, sponsors, advertisers, or any organizations discussed on this program. This podcast is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered legal, financial, tax, real estate, medical, or professional advice. While we strive to provide accurate information, we make no representations or warranties regarding its completeness or reliability. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge that Real Talk with Kandi and Garrett, Kandi Thompson, Garrett Gray, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Divine Properties, their affiliates, guests, sponsors, advertisers, and all associated parties shall not be held liable for any actions, decisions, losses, damages, claims, or consequences arising from the use of or reliance upon any content presented in this podcast.